Okay, so here we are to lab 7. You do have some homework that you need to put some thinking to. So what you're going to do is you're going to pass in the answer to 3 questions. You're going to explain your answer as best you can. I'm then going to assign you to do one of 3 projects. Okay, so let's talk about the first project. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the incline of which the ramp is at. So your first question that you need to answer: what will change in the angle of this ramp due to the speed of the cart? Or I should say the acceleration of the cart. Okay, so what we can do is we can do a trial with 6 books underneath it, and then we can change that so there's only 3 books underneath it. And as we change the height, that's going to change the angle. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to do some kind of experiment where you're going to try this with different heights and see what that does with the acceleration. Okay, so now the question is, what is our second experiment? The second experiment is you're going to take the cart and you're going to do the cart with different weights in it. And you're going to see if putting different weights in the cart changes the acceleration. Okay, so you're going to keep the angles the same, but you're going to try it with maybe, whatever that is, 100 grams. Maybe you try it with 200 grams or 300 grams and see what's going to happen with different masses. The third experiment, what you're going to do is you're going to try to figure out what's going to happen if I start the car at the end, or what if I start the car in the middle? Okay, how is acceleration influenced by where the car starts on this slope? So you'll do some experiments with it here, and you'll do some experiments with it here, and compare your results. Okay, to recap, before you start the lab, you're going to pass in the answer to 3 questions and explain what your answer is and why you think that's your answer. So this is a prediction. This is the first part of a scientific theory, is you making some kind of prediction, a hypothesis of what you think will happen. Problem 1, what happens as I change the angle of the ramp? And we're going to do that by adding books. So what's your prediction? What happens? What influence does changing the angle have? Maybe it doesn't influence it at all. Maybe it speeds up faster. Maybe it doesn't go any change. Maybe it goes slower. Who knows? Make a prediction. Explain your thoughts. The second one is we're going to change the weight, how much the mass the cart has, and make a prediction what that'll do. By changing the weight, does it have no impact? Does it make the car accelerate faster, make the car accelerate slower? And the third one is we're going to start the cart halfway up the ramp. Does that change the acceleration? Does it make it the same, slower, or faster acceleration? You're going to pass those in at the start of class. Then you're going to start your actual experiment. You are going to do this experiment in a group of 3. What we should do is each trial, we should have 3 trials of any given height or distance or angles. So for instance, if I'm going to do it with 100 grams inside my cart, what I should do is I'm going to do at least 3 trials, all the same. I'm going to start it on the same place on the ramp. We're going to have the same mass. We're going to do everything the same, and we're going to calculate the acceleration 3 times from this. Then we'll use the average as our answer. Then what we'll do is maybe we'll add more mass to this, and we'll do 3 trials with that mass, find the average, and then we'll compare the average with 100 grams to the average with 500 grams and see how the mass influences the acceleration. You're going to do the exact same amount of work when you're doing this with the angles or the starting point on the ramp. You're going to do 3 trials minimum, find your acceleration for each, and take the average acceleration and use that. You're going to have to pass all this in. You're going to have to work effectively as a team of 3, and we can take one assignment passed in per group.